In the next half hour, 4 young candidates will fight tooth and nail for the chance to win an internship at a top media company. The judging panel will decide their fate, and they'll accept nothing shy of brilliance. Their skill and determination will be tested to its absolute limits. There's no place to hide. This is the job affair. Coming up on today's show, we put 4 candidates head-to-head in a battle to win an internship with a respected media company based in London. But before we get the competition underway, let's meet the panel that'll be putting the candidates through their paces. First up is Helen Morell from Nylon Films.
Annette and I started Nylon Films really as a response to what we saw was a need for video content, and it grew out of another company that we had, which was a crewing company, and we've got separate departments for broadcast production and corporate production. Across the board, we have shoots on every week pretty much. So it could be helping out on the shoot. We always need help in the office here with the general kind of day-to-day running of things, but also to be as involved as possible really with the whole marketing side, because we're a small company, we want people who are going to push the business with us. That's ideal in the candidate.
And now we turn our attention to the second company in the competition, the award-winning Jack Morton Worldwide, and their representative, Adam Norris.
So Jack Morton Worldwide is a global brand experience agency, and we basically exist to create brand experiences that strengthen the relationship between brands and the people that matter most to them. Well, we're pretty well known for the public events that we create. So we have a worldwide reputation for opening and closing ceremonies of major games, like in Athens in 2004, the Olympics, the FIFA World Cups in 2010. The candidate would shadow Adam initially, and then it's really up to them as to how quickly they then become hands-on. If they show the values that we have within our agency, which are passion, agility and respect, and if we see that from the candidate, then they'll quickly be actually sort of working on the project in a hands-on capacity.
So let's focus now on the third and the final company in the competition. That's DRP Group and their representative, Dagmar Mackett.
DRP Group is one of the most experienced full-service and award-winning corporate communications agencies. We provide a number of effective communication solutions to our clients, and that could be video, film production, that could be events, it could be digital media, or it could be a combination of all of them. The internship at DRP would mean that somebody would get involved at production assistant level most likely, and that would mean for them that they would be involved in all aspects of corporate film production. If you want to work at DRP, you have to have a passion for the business, and you need to be willing to provide the best service possible, go out of your way to deliver the most outstanding results. So that's really the kind of person that we would be looking for.
So those are our industry experts, but now let's meet each judge on the panel in person. Hello judges, nice to meet you. So what exactly are you guys looking for today from our candidates? Helen, we'll start with you.
Hi, I'm looking for someone who's really bright, somebody with a great attitude. We want people that are going to get their hands dirty, get involved with all aspects of our business. And most of all, I want someone who I know I'm going to have fun working with.
Fantastic, thank you Helen. Adam, what about you sir?
We're looking for someone who's visually creative and someone who's really looking for a career, someone who wants to develop and progress with us, not someone who just wants to stay for 6 months and then leave.
Fantastic, more of an investment than a short-term thing.
Absolutely.
Fantastic, thank you Adam. And Dagmar, what are you looking for?
We are certainly looking for someone who's got the passion to be in this industry and to stay in this industry, and who also has the patience to see all the projects through from the beginning through to the end.
Thank you, judges. Well, hopefully one of our candidates will fit that bill today. Now, advising the panel on their decisions will be Beverly Hills, who currently works for Skillset as a career advisor. She tailor-makes workshops for the industry, ranging from presentation skills to networking. Now, Beverly's currently backstage with my co-presenter, Steffi Green, just waiting to advise the judges with their decisions. Steffi.
Hi Beverly, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for asking me.
That's all right. And having had so much experience in the media field, I mean, is there any sort of advice you can give the judges what to look out for today?
Well, I think they're going to have a pretty strong range of candidates. So I think the judges should be as focused as possible on their wants and needs. And remember, wants and needs are two different things. So they might want something, but they might not necessarily need it.
Very interesting there. Be interesting to see who wins.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Beverly and Steffi. So let's waste no more time. It's time to get the competition underway with round one, pitting each candidate against each other for the very first time. In this round, we're going to first meet the candidates in a short video clip. The judges will then ask them questions based on what they've just seen and also about their CVs. If their CVs aren't up to scratch, there'll be no place to hide. Let round one begin.
I'm Ryan March, I'm 20. I go to Royal Holloway University and I study film and TV production. My area of expertise is on camera or with editing. In 10 years, I hopefully see myself running a successful kind of film business of my own, having bought my own equipment and making my own kind of films and TV shorts. I'm confident, friendly, hardworking. Whenever I need to start or finish, I'll be there until the end and make sure the job gets done.
So that was Ryan's profile there, but judges, how does his CV hold up? Helen, I'm going to start with you.
Hi Ryan. You've got some really good information on here about your camera experience and the shooting that you do. Can you tell me what kinds of things you like shooting?
For me, it's kind of like a kind of filmic quality to anything I do. But at the same time, I have had experience doing kind of advertising, and I've done some documentary in my second year at university as well. But ideally, it's kind of, you know, films or kind of TV, filmic TV kind of shorts and that kind of thing that I most enjoy.
Okay, I'd like to see more on here about what kinds of stuff you like watching. You know, the fact that it's films or documentary style or whatever, all of that will tell me a little bit more about perhaps your style of shooting and what might be suitable for us or might not be suitable. So just a bit more information perhaps on what you like watching and what you like shooting.
And that was Ryan's performance. Now let's take a look at our next candidate. This is Mary's profile.
My name is Mary Oluwawo. I'm 21 years old and I'm a student at City University London studying journalism. I would say my area of expertise is documentary making, also writing articles for magazines and newspapers. Ideally in the future I want to be working in documentary making, specifically ones of human interest for youth. I would say my confidence is key. Like, I'm a very confident person and I'm very driven and a hard worker, so I'll stop at nothing to get to where I need to go.
So that was Mary's profile, but judges, how does her CV match up? Adam, I'm going to start with you this time.
Hello, Mary. I think your CV comes across as if you're a very driven person. You get out there, you've done a lot of stuff. To me, the grey area is, what are you really interested in? I can see the journalism side of it, but how does that fit with media, the broader media area that we represent?
Okay, I do believe being a trained journalist, it's a skill and it's about finding a new story and finding a new angle. And in media, it's also communication. And in journalism, the key emphasis is on communication, how you communicate with people via writing, visually, and different stuff like that. So I do feel like those are transferable skills.
Brilliant. Thank you, judges. Some great tips there. And thank you, Mary. You've survived the first barrage of questions. Now we're going to move on to our third candidate. This is Manleen's profile.
My name's Madeline Gill. I'm 20 years old and I'm a third-year journalism student from City University. My area of expertise would be international reporting. I've done a lot of work with BBC in Los Angeles. I've done some work with CNN, so really reporting on an international scale. My ideal job would be somewhere working in Reuters, maybe spend half the time in Docklands and the other half as an international correspondent across the other side of the world. I'm passionate beyond comparison. I mean, a lot of people might just think, oh, it'd be nice to intern, but I'm going to be graduated, I'm looking for the next challenge, the next opportunity, something to really get my teeth stuck into.
Manleen's profile there, but Dagmar, is her CV up to standard?
Hello, Manleen. Your CV reads quite well. I mean, you've done quite a lot for someone your age. I think you've got quite a lot of experience already. You were just talking in the VT that we saw about being very passionate. The one thing actually that doesn't come across very well in your CV at the moment is this passion.
Okay.
And what I'm missing somehow is the main reasons why you want to work in broadcasting or in the film production sector. That's the bit that I'm not quite feeling at the moment. So can you maybe talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, most of my experience has predominantly been print-based. Again, with the work that I did overseas, a lot of it is online and newspapers, but broadcast is something that I've just initially started to get a feel of. Filmed a short documentary within our university degree about freshwater organisations, and I've really started to get a feel of it this year only, so maybe that's why the presence isn't so big on the CV, but I'm really interested in the side of broadcast to really take those values and those news values that every day we reiterate in print, but really get them, communicate them across a different wide medium.
And what do you think is the main difference between broadcasting and print media from a journalistic point of view?
I think print media is probably traditionally what everybody associates with journalism, but I think now with the social media side taking off so well, YouTube being one of the main strategic business models that we have, this is really a wider medium to get points across. I mean, some people say print is a dying trade. I don't believe that, but I think that broadcast and video really are how to target the young generation at the moment.
Now, moving on to our final candidate. This is Chris's profile.
My name is Christopher Dennett. I'm a graduate from the University of Sussex and I'm 23 years old. I'd say communications is probably my area of expertise in terms of verbal and written articulation, presentation and interacting with a broad demographic. Within the media industry, especially after my stint of backpacking, I realised I wanted to become either a travel writer or an esteemed travel presenter. I'm personable, I'm a very quick learner and I'm very willing and able to adapt to any situation, whether that's a fast-paced environment or to a certain audience. And I think I can be very appropriate no matter who I'm speaking or communicating to.
That was Chris's profile there, but judges, how does his CV compare with the other candidates? Helen, I'm going to come to you first.
Thanks. Hi, Chris.
Hello.
There's some interesting aspects to your CV. What I don't see on it, though, is really any evidence of kind of relevant experience that you've gone out and got yourself, perhaps, which would maybe make you desirable to a company like mine. So can you tell, is there anything that I'm missing from your CV?
Well, I think in the sense my degree masks an interest, a personal interest I've always had within the media and past experience I've had sort of throughout A-levels, school and perhaps whilst I was travelling. There's only so much information I can place. I know you mentioned you wanted people who could deal with perhaps the marketing side of things. Now that is something I'd be particularly comfortable with, but I would always like to apply that within the media industry, to apply that kind of experience with my personal interest.
Okay, thanks.
Well done, Chris. Thank you very much, judges. And that just about brings round one to a close. Judges, I'm now going to give you 30 seconds and 30 seconds only to confer amongst yourselves, and then you are going to have to make the unfortunate decision of sending one of our candidates home. But before that happens, let's go backstage and hear from Beverly about the first round.
Well, I thought that what the judges had to say was really interesting.
It got a lot out of the contestants, I think.
A lot out of the contestants.
A lot of pressure, oh my goodness.
One thing you have to put in your CV is you do have to put your interests in. So if Ryan had put his interests in, Helen would have been able to build up a bigger picture of who he was. Mary, I thought Adam's question was very pertinent. What are you really interested in?
Yes, yes.
Now, this was a typical kind of a mistake most people make, is just spreading themselves too thinly.
Yeah.
And putting too many job roles into their CV, so you can't really get a picture of the person. I think Manleen Dagmar, I said that the passion was missing in her CV, and in order to show those kind of things, that's what the personal profile's for. And a lot of people miss out their personal profiles, and that's how we can also build up a picture of the person. And then on to Chris. Helen said he has no media experience, and I just have to ask him, he said he did, but why mask it in the CV?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I just think that experience was so different as well, wasn't it? Their backgrounds, I think it's going to be a hard decision.
Oh, I wouldn't like to be a judge.
No, none of their positions. All right, thank you. Back to Steve.
I wouldn't like to be a judge either, girls. Thank you, Beverly and Steffi.
I think that, you know, people have to want to do what we can offer. And I think for at least one of the candidates, it seems like they want to do something else.
Yeah. Yes.
And that's what's kind of made my decision, really.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that there's a very, very clear line where that particular person's headed.
and they were quite clear on that, and I would agree with Adam that I think for them what we have to offer is not really what they want.
Yeah. And there's no point in going something that you think you can't, like you said, you don't want somebody just for 6 months, you want somebody for the long term.
Exactly.
It's going to have an interest in staying in your company.
Now, judges, you've had significant amount of time to make up your minds. We're now going to need an answer. Who will be leaving the competition? Helen, your decision, please.
We've had a good think about who we feel would be a great candidate for one of our companies, and we were all of the same opinion that there's one of you whose interests actually don't really lie with the kinds of things that we do. So the first person that we're going to eliminate is Manleen. Manleen, sorry about that. We feel that you've got a great future ahead of you. You've got such a wide variety of skills here, but we just all felt that perhaps on screen is the way that you really want to be going, and for us that's not what we do. Thank you.
Okay.
Manleen, commiserations. Thank you very much for playing the job affair. Goodbye.
Thanks.
So Manleen, how are you feeling after that?
I mean, I'm disappointed naturally, but I appreciate the judges' comments, and I think what they said about rearranging my CV, maybe I should look into that. Because they said put a few things higher, but I mean, I feel like I have enough passion, and I feel like maybe some of the other candidates, they can talk the talk, but they haven't got anything to concrete back up those back up their aspirations. Everybody can say I want to do this, but where's the evidence? And I feel like I've shown everything that I've done. But again, I mean, I'm disappointed, but
You've got a lot of experience, and even this is an experience in itself, I feel.
Yeah, no, it's an amazing experience to come on the show and be with the other candidates and see the environment. But I mean, it's a shame, but I'm happy I can take something away from this experience.
Yeah, and I think you did really great, so
thank you.
Feel proud of yourself.
I'll try to.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
So, the race for the internship is hotting up as we move swiftly into round 2, where the candidates will have a chance to show their own knowledge of the media industry. Each candidate will face a question in turn, and their answers will be scrutinised by our panel. Candidates, if you perform well, you'll be safe. If you perform badly, it might be time for you to leave the competition. Let's get round 2 underway. Ryan, we'll start with you. Ryan, Jack Morton believes experienced brands are the future. The way a brand interacts with its key audiences says as much about a brand as its advertising does. How do you think brands can best shape perception of them?
Well, I think that advertising, like you said, obviously they can give the audience the initial idea, and then yes, I mean with events, with continued advertising, but with events particularly, they can really kind of just show what they're about, and yeah, that's
brilliant. Thank you, Ryan. Mary?
I think branding is important, and I feel like consistency is key. I feel like you can explore different avenues, but people associate something with a brand, so changing it, like going Helter Skelter, is not a good thing. But I feel like drawing innovation and inspiration and bringing creativity and things that are in the media and things that people relate to, and making that and embodying that in the brand makes a good brand.
Thank you, Mary. Chris?
I think brands are important in that they allow a person to determine who a company is. But I think brand experience allows, say, the consumer or any stakeholder to truly engage with that company and get a real feel for what that company means to them. For example, a Mont Blanc pen. Well, you know Mont Blanc, you know they make pens. However, if you can engage with that, you usually engage with that in the sense that an event may be about the luxury of them or where that pen, the materials are derived from. They get a real understanding. They're involved in the entire process of, say, the production of that product. It shows that the company thinks about the consumer much more than just selling to them.
Absolutely fantastic. Okay, Mary, this question's directed at you first. Mary, Nylon Films produces content for social media. How do you think the development of social media has impacted the industry?
I definitely think the development of social media has definitely impacted the industry. Even if we're just looking at newspapers, for example, they say it's a dying age and that is going to be scrapped, and everyone's moving online. There's a younger, new generation who are really interested in social media. They want to be able to get things on the go. They want to be able to see short films on their way to work. They want to see things through Twitter, and social media is moving very quickly, and people are jumping on YouTube. People are exploring different avenues, and media is a main form, and it works really well online.
Thank you, Mary. Chris?
I think social media as a phenomenon has almost come overnight in the sort of business sense. It seems that every business seems to need social media, whether that's Facebook or Twitter. It depends how well they utilise it. I think on one level it opens up the market to them previously, probably what would have been limited pay-per-click advertising and probably a younger audience, as said by Mary. However, I think it gives a company a much more organic presence within the market as well. Rather than paying for just one campaign, they can pretty much free be campaigning all the time live. They say you should make a Twitter feed, say, every hour. So the customer can constantly see what you're doing, and it feels like a living entity in a way.
Thank you, Chris. And Ryan, how has social media impacted the media industry?
Sorry, I think it's great. You know, every business now can have their own page. They can contact people all through that. People can find out more about them through it as well. And I think even just kind of the social aspect of it. So with your friends and you can, people, instead of almost kind of meeting up and talking with each other, they'll post links to each other. They'll talk through the different you know, posts on there. So I think it's great.
Thank you, Ryan. Brilliant. And the final question is aimed first at you, Chris. Chris, DRP Group works very closely with businesses to help connect them to their audience via brand vision and event videos. What do you think is the most effective means of audience communication in today's society?
I think the most effective means of audience communication is visual, more so than the sense that you can perhaps put a presentation, but it's not necessarily going to engage with them. It's like a film, you know, they've deliberately put special effects to get the audience's attention. So you can acquire that much easier and to a sort of broader demographic in that sense as well. And some documents can be seen as patronising. And it also allows the audience to interpret it how they want, whilst there may be one clear message, and obviously that's the aim, to have one clear message. The audience, it's fairly subjective. They can interpret it how they want. It gives them the freedom, and then they can make a sort of clearer decision as to, once again, what, say, that company's message means to them and whether it's appropriate.
Fantastic, Chris. Ryan?
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, you know, you're looking at the kind of audio-visual element of it. You know, you've got kind of the podcasts, but also the videos as well with the audio on it. It's for me, it's definitely the best way to communicate anything you want to get going. You know, with the people of our generation particularly, they, I think, respond best to this kind of social media. So.
Brilliant, thank you, Ryan. And Mary?
I also agree that visual communication can be most effective because we live in a microwave generation. People want things now and then, and with visual communication, you can continuously update. You can continuously let us know what's going on. We can see your reactions. You can explore different branches of media in a whole, so it's not as specific, and you can also borrow from different genres.
Fantastic. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, candidates. So there we have it. 3 questions, 3 candidates and some fantastic answers, plenty for the judges to ponder in the next round. And before the judges make up their mind, we're going to go over to Beverly. Beverly, how do you think the candidates performed in that round?
Well, that was a very tough round, wasn't it?
Goodness, yeah.
Very difficult questions to answer. And I think all the candidates did really, really well. However, some of them didn't listen to what the actual question was. And so they started to talk and they didn't get to the point of what they were saying. Some of them jumped on the bandwagon of other people's questions. Did you notice that?
Twitter was mentioned.
And social media was mentioned when social media wasn't actually the question. But I wouldn't like to be under the spotlight there, would you? Would you, Steve?
Absolutely not, Beverly, no, not in a million years. But thank you anyway. Judges, I'm now going to give you some time to confer, make up your minds, about 30 seconds, and then we're going to come back and find out who will be eliminated from the job affair.
I thought Beverly made a really good point earlier when she said that in interviews, you know, some people just talk too much without really thinking about what they're saying, and I thought we had a really good example of that here in this round. Somebody really not listening to the question, just talking.
And I think that's a sign of inexperience as well, isn't it? And nervousness, definitely.
It is.
I thought that was a really tough round.
Yeah,
it was a very tough round.
I don't know if I would have done any better than them.
No, it was. They were very, very tough questions, and of course the candidates were really put on the spot.
Yeah, for me there was one candidate that really stood out there as doing very well, and there was, for me, one candidate as well that I thought is not really suitable for my company.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Me too.
So Dagmar, your decision please.
Guys, before I tell you who's not going through to the next round, this was an incredibly difficult round, and you know, we totally appreciate the pressure that you're under, and we're actually quite glad that we weren't in your shoes at that moment. But we've had to make a decision, and we have made a decision. And Beverly actually said something really interesting, which we all agreed with, and that was about not listening to a question properly and jumping onto somebody else's bandwagon and talking quite a lot. And so based on that, we've made the decision that the person we're not taking through to the next round is Mary. Really sorry, Mary.
Okay.
We think you've got absolutely great potential, and I think you've got the determination as well to do what you really want to do, and absolutely stick with it. Just follow what you want to do. But unfortunately for our companies, you just wouldn't be right at this moment in time.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Mary, commiserations.
Okay.
We wish you the best of luck in the future. Thank you for playing the Job Affair.
Thank you.
So Mary, how are you feeling now?
Well, I'm a bit gutted, but it was a great opportunity. So,
It was, yeah. How did you feel with the judges, their opinions?
I felt it was fair, and listening to them to elaborate and stuff like that, I felt they could elaborate more and explain what exactly they meant. But it's good.
It's a great experience, I think. Is there anything you're going to take away from the experience as well?
Definitely, it's taught me interviewing skills. I mean, if I can stand in the spotlight with thousands of cameramen, then I guess I could do anything. So
it's never going to be that much under pressure again.
Of course,
so I think you did really well anyway. So
Thank you.
well done.
Thank you very much.
So we are now entering the final round. In this round, each judge will quiz the two remaining contestants and find out what they can bring to their respective companies. It's all in the candidates' hands. Let's see who wins. Adam, your first question for Ryan, if you'd be so kind.
Ryan, if you could have anyone as a mentor, anyone in the world, who would it be and why?
Well, I mean, on my profile, I put that I'm inspired by Roger Deakins, the cinematographer, mostly for the Coen brothers. The reasons are mainly just because of the beauty of each shot that he creates. You know, if I could possibly ever make anything just as amazing to look at as he does, then that, you know, I'd be well on my way. That's ideal for me.
Thank you, Ryan. And Helen, your question for Chris.
If you were to come and work at Nylon Films, based on the research and the knowledge that you have of my company, can you give me a brief overview of what your marketing strategy might be?
Well, in that sense, I'd probably, because I noticed that Nylon Films specialises in fact-based promotional video, and I saw it was ironic because I saw you did the Bangkok Madame Tussauds, or the Thai version. It was funny because I was actually there when I was there, and I would love to push that out there, you know, broaden it, and perhaps, I suppose, take it. I know it's specialised in the fact, but perhaps take it to a new kind of market in that sense, push into new realms, such as maybe not even fiction, but perhaps, I don't know, perhaps more dramatic, you know, have the same message as a fact-based, that might be a certain topic of nature, but rather than sort of documenting something that's happening, make it a story in that sense, to sort of much more, you know, it doesn't remain in the corporate domain, it can sort of go into the entertainment industry, for example.
Okay, thank you, Chris, and thank you, judges. The final round is over. The candidates can do no more. They've given their all throughout this competition, and judges, we're now going to hear from Beverly one last time. You'll then each announce who you wish to offer your in-ship to. Beverly.
Steve, well.
Goodness, it's getting so tight now.
It's getting very tight. I mean, there's a clear difference between two candidates. One is very eloquent, and one is very technically competent. Now, it depends on who you want to work for your company, as to what you want from each of those people. But one candidate stood out clearly for me because he knew about one of the companies and had done his homework.
Yeah, I think that it just shows what he can offer them offer to the company. I mean, I think that is a big deal to them.
So, it's up to you, judges. I wouldn't like to be in your shoes. Hey, Steve.
Thank you, Beverly, and thank you, Steffi. No, that is a very tough decision indeed. Judges, you've made up your minds, and if you wish to employ Ryan, please turn your lights green. But if you wish to employ Chris, turn your lights purple. Make your decision now. So there we have it. Chris, commiserations.
Thank you.
I'm so sorry. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being a great sport. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you very much.
We wish you the best of luck in your future. Thank you very much, Chris. But Ryan, well done, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Congratulations, Ryan.
So Chris, well done for getting this far anyway. How did you feel it went?
I'm surprised. I'm proud of myself for getting this far, and I think he's a really worthy candidate. I think he's really, especially as it's just the first step of his kind, I'm actually genuinely happy for him.
Yeah, and it shows that maybe you are cut out for the media industry, even though you've not had as much experience. You obviously have proven yourself.
Perhaps, yeah.
The judges.
Yeah, I managed to get this far, so it's just a case of maybe actively pursuing it, showing that perhaps I have some skills that are transferable. Maybe I just need to focus them a bit more. But it's all been encouraging. It builds self-esteem, definitely. Yeah.
Judges, you've seen Ryan progress through each round, but now it's your turn in the spotlight. You will each be given 30 seconds to pitch your company to Ryan, and then he will decide which internship he wishes to take. Helen, you first, please.
Well, congratulations, Ryan.
Thank you very much.
If you come to work for me at Nylon Films, we are a new dynamic company. We're not a large organisation yet, but we work on some really exciting projects, and it would really give you an opportunity to have a look at all aspects of production, both corporate and broadcast, and really get involved at grassroots level. So if that's what you're interested, then Nylon Films is probably the company for you.
Thank you. Thank you, Helen. Adam?
Congratulations. I think the reason you and Chris got to the final round was that you were a good fit for us, but also we were a very good fit for you. We can see that your career could flourish and progress, and you could grow and develop with us. And that's what I think you could do as part of our team.
Thank you very much, judges. So, Ryan, a lot to think about.
Well, my advice for Ryan would be to follow your heart. Just to go with who you really want to work with. After all, this is your journey, Ryan.
Okay, Ryan, you've made up your mind. Which internship would you like to take?
They both sound very interesting, and since I've got to make a final decision, I loved, Helen, what you said about the kind of both broadcast and the corporate side of it, so I'd like to come and work for Nylon Films. Thank you.
So there we have it. The competition is over for another week. Congratulations to Ryan. We wish you the very best of luck with Nylon Films. Thank you to our judges. Thank you to Helen, thank you to Adam, and thank you to Dagmar. Myself, Steffi and Beverly will all be back next week on The Job Affair.